Don't worry, we're gonna get home. God's gonna make a way for us to get home. We're just gonna walk here and watch. He's gonna send someone so we can.
But it's starting, Granny, since there's no cab and there's nobody home to come and get us.
Yeah, I know, but he's always watching out for us. We're not gonna walk out here all this time. You trust God, right? You trust God,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
trust God. I trust
All
God,
right.
Mommy. I
You
trust
don't
Him
walk
like
close
you
to me
say.
and stay away from the edge of the sidewalks. We're gonna go to this gas station right now, and it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out.
Okay, trust Him. Thank you, Mommy.
Seconds. This thing is being wonky again and crazy the way it's recording. Hello, hello, hello. I decided to come in here because today I always share my stories that I tell you guys, and I thought this one was really well worth sharing. Oh, that's beautiful. I think I should pull up some pictures for that. Okay, so this is about, and I want to say this with the most best adequate that I could possibly say it, because I'm trying to kind of put something in today that's happening in this world with something about how I believe someone grew up from a perception that they or was, oh, hold on. Okay, there it is. Okay, that was trying to learn and equally with insight within themselves uh, come about to something that was honest rather than a perception, grow from their perceptions, what they were taught, whatever. And that could be anyone, whoever you are. It does not necessarily have to be one type of culture, one type of race, one type of person, one type of gender. That could be anyone, anyone, anyone. Okay, it's just I'm sharing this experience. So, when we grew up with my grandmother and grandfather who lived in Bixby first. And man, morning, afternoon, and night, my grandmother never believed that we should, she would always be in there, just always cooking something or something, doing something like that. And I have to tell you this because it's going to fall into what happened, this other story. This is when we lived in Bixby, the California Heights area of Long Beach. And then they all decided they wanted to move out to Moval, Merino Valley, which is called Sunnymead. Remember, my grandmother's always there, and she's always, cooking while the rest of the family is probably at work, school, doing something, whatever. But she's mainly always was the one there, and she's always doing all this. She's very old school, and like grandmothers do. They're gonna do everything they can every day to first appease their husband and to get their family. I guess that's mothers in general. But anyway, we all decided I don't, I don't think it was a great idea now that I'm older because you look at the value of the home that they had and it's well over $1 million. And but they did at the time. I guess it was good for them because my uncle, who was in the army, was using his GI Bill to get a home that was in Merino Valley at that time. Homes are just spouting up new all over Merino Valley. It was when Merino Valley was called Sunnymead. Okay, so it was beautiful. It was just a pretty much barren land, most of it, and they were just building pretty much just homes. There was a Vons on Sunnymead, I mean, that had the best of everything. You could go in that store and you would literally find the best of everything in Vons. I don't know if you could still do that today. I haven't been in Vons in a while, but I swear they had these blueberry muffins as big as probably a cup mug, and they were so soft. The berries were so big, and believe it or not, that was for non-sugar. Those did not have non-sugar. I understand the carbohydrates and everything else. Just because something doesn't have sugar doesn't mean it's all great. But you could literally go there. And yeah, like I said, best of everything. In Sunnymead, California, Moreno Valley. So my grandmother, they had just bought another beautiful big home that the family, all of us were going to come to. And, we generally in our family, we pretty much realize the importance of being together, helping each other. We kind of ventured our separate ways as time is. And just what time does, you do that. But when my mom was a little bit younger, as well as myself, we lived with my grandmother and grandfather, and then my aunt lived also with my grandmother, grandfather, my uncle. So when they were a little bit younger, but they ventured as life moved forward. And anyway, back to Sunnymead, this big house. So before they could get in the house, we got to these apartments, and I forget the name. I think it was on Hemlock Street. But we got to these apartments in Hemlock, and they were the very first apartments in Sunnymead, Moreno Valley. And again, my grandmother, everyone's at work, and she's the only one at home or in the apartment cooking. It was like a 3-bedroom or something, and my aunt stayed, I think, off with her husband somewhere, or with her then boyfriend, and then he became husband, but then she stayed off with him somewhere. And the other relatives were doing their thing, staying off with her. But my mom and me were with my grandmother. Now, as you know, my mother is mixed culture. She has Indian, she has German from Switzerland, she has Mexican, she has all these cultures in her. So her hair, what they would call, or what some people would call, was very manageable. Okay, her hair was manageable. If you're in the community of hair, and I guess she was the first pioneer of protective styles, you know what manageable is. And it was soft, curly, easy to really not even do anything with. I mean, she could wear probably any style she wanted to. She had the tight curls in her hair, but they were like soft, tight curls, Try to understand what I'm saying. You know Angela. Oh gosh, yeah, I don't want to get her name wrong. It was Angela Davis who wore the afro, right? They were sort of like those soft curls, like that, like really soft. And my mom did. It was 1980. She wanted to show all of her cultures. Okay, she'd have her hair one day straight, where she would make it straight, and she'd have it one day where she just let her manageable tight curls blow in the wind and be beautiful. Either way, it was great. And there's a reason I'm telling you this, because I'm leading into the story. Listen well. And again, my grandmother with no car, because grandfather, had the car. He was an officer, so he was still working in Los Angeles at the time. So he had to have the car, of course, because he had to go up there. So he had the car, and she was there. Now, in Sunnymead, that is now named Moreno Valley, they had buses. I think they're called Riverside Transit Bus or something. So it's similar to RTA, Regional Transit Authority, but they were Riverside Transit Authority, I think, RTA. And we knew about RTA because my mother had no car, and I was young there then, like at 10. And my mother had no car, and we were taking a bus. But lo and behold, we did not know when we came out to Moreno Valley from LA. That's how those I'm laughing now, but it wasn't funny then. It was not. A single mom and her daughter. There's a reason I'm leading into the story though. Listen. The Sunnymead. And if you know anything about Sunnymead back in the day, before it became the name Moreno Valley, you know that it was barren, frankly. And on the corner, one of the oldest gas stations on the corner of Alessandro and Frederick. I don't know the name of it, but it sits right there in the corner. And believe it or not, guys, it was the only thing there. It was the only diamond in the desert that was there. You could look from north to south, east to west, and all you would see at this time, which me and my mom was stuck way over. I don't know how we got over there. Stuck on the other side of Merino Valley from which was Sunnymead, from Hemlock Street. If you guys know Merino Valley, you know the distance from Hemlock Street, which is over on, I believe, the south side, from us being over on the north, or is it the north side? From us being way over on the south side of Merino Valley and Alexandra, okay, and Frederick. And we're sitting here waiting on this bus. It's barren, there's nothing going on. All this dirt, it's like a dust ball, okay? Like the Grapes of Wrath movie. I don't know if you guys ever watched that movie, but it was like that come to life. It was like we were on the set of the Grapes of Wrath movie, because everywhere you looked, it was just, you could not see literally probably 5 feet in front of you, okay, for the single mom and her daughter. Okay, there were no cell phones. No cell phones. Okay, and you got the corner there, the gas station. First of all, you're thinking, okay, I'm sorry. Please don't be offended. Okay, when I say this next thing, you understand me if you are African American. If you have high hair, my mom's very light, so she's red bone. Okay, so she's light. She was light skinned, and I'm darker. I'm a cinnamon color. You see my photos there, so I have darker skin than red bone. And so I'm a child, 10 years old, and my mom is red bone, and at this point she has her fro going, her nice little protective style. It wasn't actually little; it was actually big, but the woman had hair. Okay, so she has that on her head, and beautiful, beautiful. And the first thing you're thinking is, okay, who controls that gas station? And hey, we need to use the phone, and is this gonna be safe? And I don't know. We're about in Boone Hickey Town. I don't know. Just the experiences that you would have and all the things that run in your mind. And maybe this is something that was a lesson for both us and the lady that we met. That's why I'm leading up to the story. The lady in the car that knew we were in trouble, that I believe got sent. So my mom goes over here and she's being very careful. She says, keep a tight watch because it's dark. There's dust everywhere. I mean, there was no lights then, like traffic lights. So pretty much a car could have came out of anywhere, no lights, our lights. And it was dirt roads. And we just had to get across because we were waiting on this in this crazy town, Dust Bowl town, for a bus that just wasn't coming. And we didn't know that because you could probably not even see the light, the sign. But when we went in to the gas station, we were wrong. We were wrong. The person said, "You don't have to use. Don't worry about using that payphone. It doesn't work anyway." Ouch! Craziness upon craziness. If you did have to make a call, who are you gonna call? Nobody, because stuck in the middle of nowhere because the payphone doesn't work. Okay, so anyway, he says it was a nice dude. He says, "Come on in," and he says, "We've our families lived out here forever. You new out here, huh?" And my mom says, "Yes." And she says, "I was waiting for the bus." He says, "Nah, the buses don't come." I think it was like a Saturday or Sunday. He said, "The buses don't come on the weekend." So we were just waiting there, and we didn't know this. So my mom uses the phone, and she calls her mom, my grandmother, who's the only one there without the car, and no one else is there, and tells her the scoop. And my grandmother was like, "Okay, then I'll go ahead and call a cab and see what I can do to get you guys to get back down here." Come to find out. Tears. Tears, but tears, but tears, but tears, but tears. There is no cab service, okay? That is close to Sunnymead. So no, no, no. That's not going to work either. And I think the closest one was like really far out. And it would cost 2 arms, 4 legs, 6 feet, 9 heads. You get the point. So anyway, he lets us call her. And he saw, damn. He says, I would take you home. But I'm, my mom says no. My mom's like, okay, it's like you let us use your phone, but no, that's okay. And he saw, I would take you home, but he had a thing anyway. He had to stay there. He's the only one there, and there really wasn't anyone to fill his position if he did take us there. But my mom was gonna like, nah, that's all right, okay, because we're at that point we were used to walking very long miles, but with this situation here which was regretful. We the mileage, I think, from there to Hemlock, from Alessandro and Frederick, the corner there, to Hemlock, I believe the mileage to walk there and you cut your little daughter and you through Dust Bowls is like I think like 5 or 6 miles, something like that in that neighborhood. You're walking also past the 60 freeway on all dirt, everything. There was traffic, and you don't know who you're going to meet up with. It was too dangerous. So the guy says, it's okay. You guys can, maybe you can stay here. It's on a Sunday, and maybe you can catch your ride in the morning. It's okay. You can probably just stay in here or whatever. So my mom, she took him on his offer. It was good. But my mom went outside because there was like a little, I think it was like a newspaper or something about the town. Those little free newspaper stands that they have or something. And she says, okay, I'm just going to get this to read or something. And she says to me, her daughter, and I'm not going to say my name because it's very unique and I don't want you to know it. Sorry, I love you. But anyway, she's it's too unique. Anyway, back to the story. So she gets that and she says, okay, baby, you go ahead and sleep. I'm going to stay up all night, whatever. And when she's walking out there, now I'm finally getting to the point I need to get at this story. And remember, white people really voted for Trump. We can't really say that because we're not in each and everyone's mind. But I can say this. All of the things that he's doing, I will say this and this, hurting the veterans, hurting people, the farmers, hurting a lot of his constituents or people that voted for him live in states where they rely on what Elon Musk calls entitlement programs or a Ponzi scheme, which is neither one. We all put money in taxes that we work hard through our lives in the Social Security system. And when we get older, or if we become ill, we can either, by those two things, apply to receive benefits to the day we're expected to be here no more, which is die. And so we put into it. It's nothing as such as a entitlement. It's an earned program that you work and you put credits in. I just want to explain that to you all. So it's none of those things. Okay, no billionaire is paying for your Social Security. That shit you paid for. Okay, just remember that. And that's your number and that's your taxes that you filed. Okay, and getting back to what I was saying, I just had to add that. The lady, and the reason that these people voted for Trump, I don't know because I'm not in their brain. But I have my theory. I mean, there's hate and love. And gosh darn it, if you let your hate drive you too far, you could make silly, stupid decisions without looking at something with clarity. So she meets this lady, my mother, and this lady meets her and she's in her car because she's coming to get gas. And the lady's just kind of like looking at, it's a white lady. Okay, and my mother, you know her culture and you know me, her brown daughter. And so this white lady, she was honest. She says she sees this fro in my mom's head, and she kind of talks with my mom. She's kind of like, excuse me, a younger white lady. I think she was like 20, 25. And she's talking to my mom, kind of getting a feel, for who my mom is. My mom is very easy to talk to, then before the dementia happened. Very easy to talk to. And she's always been that way, really. She's loving. And she's kind of getting a feel for her. And she says, my mom, and the lady asks, oh, wow, she hears my mom's stories about being stuck. So the lady's about my mom being stuck out there. So the white lady asked my mixed Latino, Indian, black mom, brown skinned daughter. And I was young at the time, but it sticks with me for the rest of my life. The lady says, I'll take you home. My mom had a comfortable feeling about her, or else my mom would have not even gotten in the car and let the lady take us home. But it's something else the lady said after that, something else that she said after that, that as a 10-year-old at that time, you kind of knew where she was coming from, but at the same time, you kind of was like not knowing why she would think that. But at the same time, you're like, okay, maybe she's trying to get over something that she knows is wrong and she's trying to do better. Because you can only do better when you drive toward love. So the lady said something next to my mother. She had said after, she says, I'll take you home, but you can't do anything to me. Don't do anything to me. Don't try to harm me. And my mom just looks at her and my mom says, my mom knows better. My mom has been around a lot of people and a lot of things and a lot of stuff. Likewise myself. So we've had a lot of experiences with seeing different things and a feeling about something that is an intuition. I think it's a gift from, I know it's a gift from God when what someone's intent is. And my mom says, I wouldn't hurt you for the world. I wouldn't hurt you for the world. And she says, okay. So we got in the lady's car. And my mom wasn't even worried about that. My mom wasn't worried about that lady. She knew better. And you could tell the lady was a little bit nervous and a little bit jarred. But you could tell at the same time that she was all those things, jarred, nervous, all that kind of stuff right there. You could tell at the same time in her heart, she's like, I'm trying to get over where I am. And I think there was a mention to that when she finally got to our place, dropped us off at the apartment. Everything went well and let us go. She says, I'm trying. That was the last thing I heard from her. I'm trying. And she says, I'm glad that I could help you. That's what the lady says. And we get out the car, and it stuck with my mom even. It even stuck with my mom, what she said and what happened there. So the whole moral of the story was that this lady saw to do what she could do out of love, out of, I guess, tired of being tired and wanting to be something different and do something different. Me and my mom are not perfect. It also put a learning for us as well to know no matter how many disastrous things and opportunities and crazy stuff that you may see through life, like the Lord says, if there's just one, and there's always just one, there really is, that is truthful, honest, morale, with intent to just love and realize that there is only one God. He created us all. They had protests in Ohio, you wouldn't believe this, in a black historic neighborhood. And the protests, I don't know if they told you this, but I believe these evil, hateful people came with these flags, and the police were not as responsive as they should have been with them. And the kind of protest that they were having in this black historical neighborhood with these weapons and flags, and you know what type of flags there are for hateful people with these flags, was we're mad because God created you. So we're going to stand in your historical neighborhood and hold this up and do this because we have an angst because God created you like He created us. Like I said, you have these experiences, but there was just one, and that was, I believe, it had to be the winter or something on a Sunday night in Sunnymead, that is now in Moreno Valley. And I hope that longevity lived out for her, where she wanted to continue to learn, grow, get out of her own house, and know that people are people, and they could have any color skin or whatever is going on in the outer appearance with them. There's a lot of people that are people regardless of all that, and their action and character is who they are. It has nothing to do with what they look like. And I know for us, time and time, over and over again, you learn that, and you come across everyone, even person that looks like you. I remember me and my mom were homeless, and there was a black church lady that loved to come on down and look at us sitting on the bench when we were homeless. And she just loved to look at us, and she would just be dressed prim in her very fancy outfits. And this was a black woman. This is a black woman in her fancy outfits and everything. And she'd just come there up and say, "How you ladies doing?" and just talk her shit. And then she'd pull out of her pocket. This is what she did, guys and gals. Now, we were hungry that night because we didn't have anything. Most of the time, people would come and give us something like money or whatever. She pulled out of her pocket 2 sticks of gum. No, she really did this. It was bullshit. And she said, "Here, have a good night." Like I said, I've been through some crazy shit. I've saw it all. But that's the moral of the story anyhow. Content of character, just like Dr. King said, or just like, we'll start with the Lord. Lord said, "Fruits on the tree. By the nature of their fruit, you will know who a person is." All right. I thought it was encouraging. I hope it helps someone. Until next time, thank you for watching.